Hello everybody, how are ya? Hope you're doing well. It's nice to see you. It is a cold day here today. While everybody's coming in and getting settled, I'm going to finish putting a little coat of paint on this thing we're going to work on today. Hello. Hi Beth. Hi Jane. Hi Michelle. Nancy. Pabla. Hello. Hi Ina. Great to have you all here. Come on in and find a spot. I've been restored to my former look. Any of you that were here Tuesday know what I'm referring to. I've been restored to who I am on a normal day-to-day basis, minus the glitter eyeshadow and false eyelashes. Yes, it was fun though. I have to say it was fun. Hi, Sally Ann, not that Martha. I don't know if your name is Martha or Sally Ann, to tell you the truth. So I'm just calling you not that Martha. She's not that Martha. I'll explain to you what I'm doing after we get going here. I just need to get this coat of paint on here so it can dry while we chat a minute. And then I'll catch up with the chat. Hope you guys are having a good day. Like I said, it is colder than cold here. I almost said something bad. Fortunately, I caught myself. I stopped myself in the nick of time. Had a smoothie this morning with all kinds of berries in it. And sometimes those little seeds just don't, I don't know what they do, where they go. They hide in your mouth somewhere. They decide to show up in the most inopportune moments. Okay, that's done. So I can let that sit and dry. Okay, now I can talk to you guys. Hi, Judith. Judith, you're in Israel? Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Meg. Hi, Annette. Judith, I did not realize you were in Israel. That's interesting. Hi, Jody. It is Martha. Okay, good. Okay, Martha. You're just not that Martha. You're this Martha. You're your Martha. That's wonderful. Okay, let me set this off. Illegal fluids of grand proportion. I'll get the illegal fluids I like. Put it over here. I did not realize you were in Israel. That's interesting. Hi, Lena. Just checking everybody. Hi, Meg. Snowing again in Oregon. Wow. Hi, Alice. I look great. Hi, Destiny. Hi, Becca. Hi, Angelica. Hi, Eileen. Just scrolling back. No, Pavla, no fake eyelashes today. She didn't teach me. Hi, Whippy Carol. Hey, Race Owen. Technical department. Hi, Ian. I got the makeup off. It took a lot, but I got it off. Hi, JZ. Auntie Michael JZ. Yeah, no fake eye. She didn't teach me how to put them on. She put them on me, people. And about stuck my eyelashes together, you know. I didn't know if I'd ever see again. I'm just kidding. And those of you that were not here on Tuesday, I will get that video posted. I just truly have not had a chance to get it done. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Martha. Annette. Jane says they got their first snow in the UK today. Good deal. Yeah, Ian's in the, or Race is in the chat. It's too late. You're right. You're right. No, illegal fluids are only allowed if I take the risk of ruining my equipment, Pablo, a.k.a. Jennifer. Hi, Stephen Bland. Nice to see you. Hi, Karen. Hi, Miss Allie. Hi, Jill. Stephen, you've been traveling all over the place, haven't you? It seemed like I haven't gotten a chance to watch your YouTube videos, but it seemed like you were traveling and traveling. It was fun. Ian, you liked that, didn't you? You were over there laughing and laughing. Everybody that was watching this was laughing their heads off at the glitter. Yeah. I don't know that I still have you guys probably can't even see this. I'm going to try to show it to you. Let's see if I can show you this. This is after I cleaned up. Okay, see all that? See all that? That's when I cleaned up after the glitter eyeshadow incident. Look at all that. Yep. Yeah. This is a handy thing to have if you have glitter, the herpes of your creative space. Poor Nicole about had a cow every time I called it the herpes of my creative space. Hi, Sherry. Let's see. Paloma, right? Hi, Paloma. You guys were laughing. Pot of glitter. Oh, it was something. I'm glad you guys laughed. I was laughing too. Although, hi, Dorothy. Hi, Anne-Christine. Anne-Christine. Stephen says, yep, he's back from Australia. Hi, Sherry Spats. Hey, Jan. Well, we got a great group showing up today. Thank you so much for coming and spending your Friday with me. It is a great day. It's Friday the 13th. It's a super day. Paloma says, but the end result was awesome. Hi, Lena. Hi, Sherry L. Dorothy says it was the funniest thing she's seen for ages. Annette says she's laughing a lot. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it was. I mean, the cats were glittery. My space was glittery. Of course, I had glitter all over myself, you know. And then she kept scolding me. Nicole, my son's girlfriend, was here doing my makeup. So that's Nikki Beauty Bliss, who does makeup videos on YouTube. And she's a beautiful girl, and she does amazing YouTube makeup looks. We're just a few years difference in age. so we kind of have different aesthetics, shall we say. And I'm telling you, the glitter, I don't know if she did that to taunt me or if she did that just because she loves glitter. It could be either one, but it really was funny. So, yeah. And I kept saying stuff, you know, giving her trouble about the glitter. And every time I'd tell her, you know, make some crack about glitter, she'd go, she'd clutch her pearls. If she had pearls, she'd have been clutching them. Yeah. Hey, Ruth. Ruth said, of course Ruth loves purple eyeshadow. You love purple. Of course you would. Ned says, yeah, Nikki is beautiful. She really is. Let's see, what else? Annette says she almost died when she told me not to breathe. I'm telling you. I intended to get it posted earlier this week, Jan, but I didn't get the video posted yet. I will do my best to post it tonight. They just left yesterday morning, and so yesterday afternoon I was kind of like, I had to just decompress a little bit because and it's been wonderful, totally wonderful. No complaints. I had, you know, it's just a wonderful time having everybody here. But from January the 1st until yesterday, we had people here. So, you know, they were kind of coming and going, and, you know, and I'm figuring out what we're going to do for food, and, you know, all that, and where are they sleeping, and that kind of stuff. So it was crazy. So I didn't have any time to, you know, like breathe. And, but it was great. I wouldn't trade it for anything, not for one single thing. I love you guys, but I'm telling you, if I had to not stream because they were here and I had to give you guys up for a day or two, you guys lose. You know what I mean? So yesterday afternoon, I had to just kind of like decompress a little bit. And then I had a class last night to go to, so that took care of that, you know. So I had to really stretch to figure out what we were even doing today. Jan needs to laugh some more. Hi, Roesta. Well, believe me, you will laugh. Yes, it was my glamour makeover. Hi, Muriel from Cape Town. That's wonderful. I just always am just amazed at how this all comes together. I just love it. Oh, I wanted to see me in the wig too, but she would not rip that wig off and put it on me for anything. I tried to get her to do that because she has taken her wig off and, shown people how to put it on and all that kind of stuff on her channel. It's not that she won't take it off. She just wasn't going to take it off and put it on me because she thought I was going to look silly, which I thought was great. But she was going to go find me a wig, but she couldn't find one. And pay no attention to the whining, complaining Siamese who is locked safely behind door number 1 today. It's my glimmer makeover, not my glamour, my glimmer. Hey, Zandra. Yeah, hey, Linda. Who else did I miss? Hi, Janice. Hi, Dana. I don't know if I missed anybody else. Please know that I'm glad you're here. So, let's see. We should have a name for that. I may have to change the name of that stream to the Glimmer Glitter Makeover. I have to be very careful how I say that. Anyway, it was really fun. Hi, is it Berlin? Hey, Carla. Yeah, Ian says, so how's the street work going, Barb? Okay, here's what's funny. Those of you that are just coming in that didn't see Tuesday, this past Tuesday, and it is not up for public consumption yet. I will get it up. But on Tuesday, my son and his girlfriend were here, and she came in late Monday evening. And so on Tuesday, we did a stream together. It was an impromptu thing. And she did my makeup, and she made me up with all of the sparkliest, glitziest, glamorous stuff possible, right? Well, I had on my flannel shirt and a t-shirt. Okay, so it was a very incongruent look, shall we say. And so as soon as the stream was over, she says to me, well, I know you're going to go take it off, so you can go take it off now. And I looked at her and I said, after all that, I am wearing it till it falls off. and I had it on all the rest of the afternoon and evening. Well, we always go out for either a cup of coffee or tea, usually tea in the afternoon, sometimes coffee now, because I am deciding that I can have a cup of coffee a day. Long story. Ruth will be happy. And so we usually go, there's a couple of places we go. So anyway, we went for our afternoon coffee and they went with us. And so here I am, all glammed up in my glitter eyeshadow and my very, very, very long and thick false eyelashes. And with glasses on, you don't see it quite as much. You see it enough, though, especially if you go places where they know you. And the place where we go, they know me fairly well there. So anyway, and I have on my flannel shirt, my t-shirt. So we walk in, and the girl behind the cash register, I thought she was going to choke. She double taked. Because I go in there whether I have makeup on, makeup off, it doesn't matter, They're used to seeing me in any kind of, however I go in there is how I go in there, right? And I'm telling you, she didn't know whether to choke or say something or not. And so I said, so how do you like my makeup today? And I started batting my eyelashes. Well, she just started laughing. She says, you are really sparkly. I said, do you think it goes with my flannel shirt and everything? And so she was just laughing and carrying on. I didn't take pictures. I don't know if anybody else did or not. But yeah, I didn't. And the headband, yeah, she had made me put on a headband to pull my hair back. That's a stunning look too. You guys don't know how much I love you to come on the camera and talk to you barefaced with my hair pulled back. Yeah, that needs to go to the hairdresser. Yeah, I went out. Of course I did. Paloma says, did you go out? Yes, we did. Went out for coffee, right? Yeah, it was funny. It was really funny. Hi, Aunt Beck. It was fun. So anyway, sometimes you just got to know what somebody really looks like, right? Hi, Paula. Hi, Shu. I'm hoping to get the recording up today. Hey, Kat. I just haven't had time to do it. I need to quit making excuses and I could barely talk by last night. Literally. Okay, let me get rid of the illegal fluids. So any of you watching the recording, you can fast forward through all this stuff at the beginning. It lasts a few minutes where I'm just chatting with everybody. Okay. I don't really have anything to tell you, so we're just going to get cracking. How's that? All right. Hi, Angel Bug Cheryl. Race isn't looking. Oh, don't be so sure of that one. Don't be so sure of that one. Race knows all. Race, there are no secrets from Race, the technical department. None. He knows every password. He knows everything there is to know. Yes. There is no secret. And if we think he's not looking, yeah, ain't happening. Hi, Mildred. Yeah, Race did Nikki's makeup. So if you guys haven't seen that one, that's on Nikki's channel, Nikki Beauty Bliss. It's Nikki Beauty Bliss. It's all one word. That's her channel, and he did her makeup on New Year's Eve, and that was pretty funny too. Okay, so what I just did is I just put gloves in a bottle on my hands. This is a shielding lotion. It is just to make absolutely clear, this is not a skin barrier to keep all chemicals and everything from going into your skin. There may be stuff that penetrates your skin, but what this does is it allows the stuff that you get on your skin to wash off more easily. So that's what I put on. All right, so what we're going to do is this. So quite a few years ago now, let's see. I'm trying to make myself some room here. I had this box, which I have had for a long time. It's just an old metal box, and I don't know what was in it. Manufactured by, it was a chocolate. It was chocolates that were in it. Okay, so that's what was in it. Chocolates. And it's just a metal box. And and you can tell that it has been through the mill. It's scratched up and all kinds of stuff. But I really like it. I've had it for a long time. I have no idea where it came from originally. But anyway, I kind of played around with how it was created, to kind of get the look of it. Now, I didn't replicate it exactly, but this was, and you guys have seen this if you've been watching me for a while, because this is the box that has my personal art prompt cards in. So it's a cardboard box, and this was my rendition of getting that finished. So it's a faux finish. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something similar, just create a faux finish. And then what we may do is next week, we may make a book to go inside the box. All right, so here is said box. So this is the box that I have. This is an old cigar box, okay, with a flip-up lid. So that's what it looks like. It's just an old cigar box. It's about an inch, probably an inch and a quarter, inch and a half deep. And you can get these if you have access to a store where they have cigars and pipe tobacco and that kind of stuff. Sometimes you can buy these. This one happens to be an old one, but anyway, that's what we're going to be playing around with. So what I've done to this to begin with, and I don't know, you probably, if I tilt it, you can still see some of the stuff. I didn't sand it. If you really want to make sure everything is going to be perfect, then you need to probably sand it. I decided that I was just going to go for it, so I didn't sand it. And this particular one, a lot of them are heavy, dense chipboard. This particular one is wood. I don't know if you can hear that. This part of it's wood. This part up here may be the really heavy chipboard. Sometimes they're a combination of the two, like this one. Sometimes they're just like heavy chipboard. Hi, Krissa from Greece. Good for you. Thanks for being here. Hi, Debbie. You guys are having problems in the chat. Well, rats. I'll just keep chatting. I'll just keep talking. We'll just keep on going, right? So what I did is I used white gesso and I coated the whole thing with white gesso and let it dry. Okay. And everything's a little sticky because the paint's not very well cured. So I coated it with white gesso. This was the gesso that I used. You can use any kind of gesso. You could even use house paint primer if you have that. So I used acrylic gesso in white, and then I let it dry really well, like for several hours. And I had some of this, which is an old Liquitex colored gesso. It's gray. It started out at $6.23 at Walmart. They marked it down to $3.50. They'd marked it down a couple times, and I bought it, and I've had it for years. And this is neutral gray, value 5, if that means anything to anybody. So after I had the white gesso and let it dry like overnight, then I put a coat of this gray gesso on it. Once that was dry, and you can probably see some of the gray in the background. Once the gray was completely dry, then I coated it in a coat of worn penny. This is the Deco Arts. This is Deco Arts Dazzling Metallics worn penny. It runs around $220 to $250 thereabouts per bottle. It's a craft paint. Okay. So that's what I'm using. Karen, hi Karen. She says, good. Hope to use all the cigar boxes that her mom left behind that she didn't throw away. Yeah, I understand. So I used this and I just did a coat of this worn penny metallic all over the whole thing. You can see the gray gesso peeking through. It doesn't have to be a totally covered. Like this is the band that sealed the box shut. I don't care if it's on there. If you guys, if you're doing something like this and you want to take the time to get rid of all that, sand it off or whatever, help yourself. I didn't want to. So there you go. Okay, so that's how I prepared the box. And I apologize for the whining Siamese cat in the background. He is being a royal pain at the moment. So I'm going to show you my, this is actually done in an art journal. So this is a page out of my art journal where I tested all this out. I did this a long time ago and I ran across it yesterday and I thought, oh, I think we'll do that. So this is this exact same treatment, finish, whatever you want to call it, faux finish. And this is done with different colors of, what makes the difference is what color you put on the box at this stage. So what color of metallic you use. So for example, this one is Folk Art Gunmetal Gray. This one is Delta Gleams Metallic Silver. This part is Dazzling Metallic Emperor's Gold. This is the worn penny, which is what this is. Okay, so that's this section. And this down here, I'm not really sure what this goes all the way down. And so I've got different stuff I did down here. So let me show you a couple of pages where I actually did this on, pardon me, on entire pages. So this is one. This is about the background. It's not about, this was a place to store the card. But you can see this page and this one. And so you just get different effects depending on what metallic paint you put down, like so, and the final coat that you put on it. Okay? All right. So that's what we're using here. So the first, I've gone through all the prep with you. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to use some collage medium. This is Collage Pauge, which I happen to really like. This is matte Collage Pauge. And I'm just going to put it in a little dish here. And use an old cruddy brush and a whole bunch of sewing pattern tissue. So this is literally my glue brush. And this is sewing pattern tissue. Okay? So I'm just going to rip it into pieces and I'm going to glue paper on this. I'm just going to take it in pieces. I'm going to kind of avoid the printing sections. I don't mind the lines. The lines are fine, but I'm going to avoid that kind of thing. I don't mind the numbers so much, you know, like big numbers and things like that. But I kind of want to avoid anything that screams out pattern tissue. You know what I mean? So like where you see notches like this, I'm going to kind of see if I can avoid that. It's not the end of the world if you use it by any means, but we're kind of going here for a faux finish look. And so I'm just ripping up some pieces. Like I really don't want the name of the pattern company on there. I don't really want anything that says this is what the thing is, but like I said, I don't mind the lines. I do like the lines because it just gives it a little bit of interesting kind of character. So I'm just going around. You don't have to use any of the lines if you don't want. But I do want uneven edges and stuff like that. So this is probably enough to get us going. We'll see. And I don't know that I'm going to get this done today. We may have to continue with this process next week as well. Okay, so I'm just I'm ripping it into smaller pieces, like so. And wrinkly is good, okay? Wrinkly is good. So I have my old icky glue brush and I have my Collage Pauge, and so I am going to glue this box completely shut. So I'm not going to try to work around this lid. I'm going to work with it completely shut. Then I will come back later when it is completely dry and I will cut across this to reveal, to let the lid open, and then I'll deal with the inside. Okay? Okay. Can use baking paper. I don't think so. I think you need something that is a tissue paper. Yeah, I don't think you want baking paper. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing, but baking paper to me is like parchment paper, and parchment paper is not going to stick. If you're talking deli wrap, I don't know. It might work. So I'm not sure whether we're saying, you know, using the same terminology. And I do want to get wrinkles in it. And like I said, I'm going to glue right over the opening so that I'll come back and I'll deal with the opening later. It's going to be a lot easier to do that than it is to try to deal with it now. And I'm going to leave cracks in the metallic paint. So, Collage Pauge under and over. But I am definitely getting wrinkles in it. But you want cracks in areas that show. You're welcome, your Roesta. Yeah, somebody said you could use the backing from your white napkins, and you could probably do that too. I happen to like the color of the pattern tissue, sewing pattern tissue. But, you know, it's like anything else. You need to try it because just because I have a preference for something does not mean that that's the only way to do it. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. But you can see that I'm getting some really lovely wrinkles in it without getting an excessive amount of wrinkles. But you do want some to alter that texture. Because we are, remember, in this particular instance, we are kind of going for a faux metal look. And you could use matte medium and stuff like that. I mean, you can use the glue of your choice. This just happens to be the glue that I like. I don't care very much for Mod Podge. I know some people really are fans of Mod Podge. It doesn't happen to be my favorite, so I don't use it. One of the things I don't like about it is I don't like the smell of it, so I tend to stay away from Mod Podge. It's an inexpensive decoupage medium. And if you like it, hey, go for it, right? So we're just going to keep going here. Yeah, you could tea dye the white, sure. Absolutely. Good idea. Tea dye the white napkins. Now, I'm going to have some issues to deal with when I cut the box back open later, but you know, I'd rather deal with those issues when I have to deal with it than to try to mess with a lid that's flopping and carrying on. So that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm choosing to do it this way. If you want to overlap some of the tissue, that's perfectly fine as well. This will take a few minutes to dry, and if you're trying to work 3D like you are, you know, in this particular thing where it's all one box, you're going to need to have a heat gun or a heat source of some kind available so you can dry, or you're going to need to do it. I mean, it's always best to let things dry naturally and use them, do them in stages. So do the top and the sides and set it on top of something and let it dry. Hello, come to me. And let it dry naturally, but we're going to force it with the heat gun. Of course we are, because that's what we do, because we're an impatient lot, aren't we? Crystal likes Friday nights in her part of the country, or part of the world. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm so happy that I can close out your week. And it's Friday the 13th, which I always like Friday the 13th. I'm sure there are people that don't. But I always like it because I always feel like it's a lucky day. We are under a weather watch here. It's supposed to just be gruesome, horrible weather. So far, we haven't got a thing. But I mean, they closed the town, the city, town, whatever, that where we live is completely closed down. The schools were called off last night. Every organization that had anything going on has been closed. I don't know whether they closed the university or not, but that is a rare thing to have happen. It seemed like somebody told me that had been done as well. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, the whole city/town is waiting for this horrendous storm. We're supposed to get a ton of ice. And it's supposed to go for hours and hours and hours and hours. So far, nothing. So far, nothing. But it's colder than all get out, I'll tell you that. Okay, I'm going to stick this arrow on here. Because I like it. Just because I like it. And then just looking around just to see kind of what spaces need a little bit more of something. So I'm going to put a little bit here. The main thing is you just want to get all the loose parts well adhered. And you know, there are going to be some people who want to use white glue to do this. Hey, and I say whatever you like, you should use. I really do. Just because this is what I like, doesn't mean that's the only thing there is to use, right? Right. Because we all have our different ways of doing things. So this is kind of boring to watch, but, you know, I'm kind of into a boring project today. You know what I mean? So I'm beginning to work around the sides and the front. Kind of got the lid, and as the lid dries, the top part, as that dries, then you can kind of look at it again and see if there are places that you want, you know, want to add more. And I'm going to just, as I get something that wants to flip to the bottom, I'm just going to flip it right on around there and glue it down. But then I'm going to have to hold it up off the bottom so that it doesn't stick to my surface. Even though I have a non-stick mat, it could be kind of messy. Hi, Fast Quilter. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound very good at all. Pipes broke. Whew. Wow, that's no good. That is no good. And there will be plenty of that here. If in fact we get the weather that they're talking about, there will be plenty of broken pipes around here. That is a fact. Around, well, in December, about the middle of December, we had a very unexpected ice storm. Caught everybody by surprise. It was black ice. And they had one of the brand new assisted living facilities here in town had a broken pipe. I don't know if it was, I'm assuming it was associated with the weather, but you know, I don't know that for certain. Anyway, they had to move all of the residents from, and it's a pretty big complex. They had to move all of those residents to a motel, motel. I don't know where they moved them. Anyway, I just couldn't imagine, could not imagine. Could not imagine what a mess that was. And a brand new place. I mean, it just opened a few months ago. Chance is in there. I'm sure you guys can't hear him, but he is in there getting into so much mischief behind door number 1. Yeah, he is. He's such a bad cat sometimes. When Miss Nicole was here, she scared my cats so badly. I'm not kidding you. I don't know if she's in the chat or not. I think she's working today. She scared my cats. She had boots that had fuzzy tops on them, and she's scared of cats. She's not familiar with cats at all, and she's scared of the sponsors, and her boots terrified them, and they decided that I was the enemy. And I'm like, I don't even have the boots on. And the cats, the two of them, especially Charlie, hid from me for quite some time. And I tried to explain to him it was not my fault. I did not wear the boots. It was not me. He's done this before where he's hidden from me because he got scared about something else, and then, you know, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because he thinks I should protect him and I don't. I don't know what it is. Anyway, he wouldn't talk to me or have anything to do with me for quite a while. And it was all Nikki Beauty Bliss's fault. Nikki and those boots, yeah. They'd never seen anything like that, I guess. It was pretty funny. Okay, we're coming along here. Carissa, that's really funny. Well, sometimes when you're watching something that is completely repetitive like this, it gets quite boring, especially when you're watching it live. However, you know, sometimes we all just need to be in some of those kind of moods, you know? You can, when you're watching somebody or listening to somebody like this, you know, you can just do something else. You can get out a project that you're working on and you can do that, right? Okay, I need a little bit more glue, so I'm going to put a little bit more Collage Pauge in my little dish here. And I will treat the bottom of this box later, as in putting the paper on it and so forth. I'll do the steps on the bottom of it later. I don't know what in the world Chance is into in there. It's pretty scary because he is having a good time. He is making noise, and he's probably found a bag full of empty plastic bags. He loves those. He got a hold of a big section of bubble wrap, and he has been popping bubbles to that's the best Christmas present you could give a cat like him. He's been popping bubbles for days. He loves bubble wrap. He bites it to hear the bubbles pop. Okay, so we're about to get this done. You do want to make sure that your edges are sealed down when you're doing stuff like this. And let's do another piece over here. So I don't know what. He also likes plastic bags, like grocery bags. You can still get plastic bags here for groceries, and he loves those because they have that kind of crunchy sound. So he bites those and chews those, and, you know. He did get hung up in one of them one day. That was a few years ago when I was streaming. I let him come out, you know, as I always do at the end of the show. I let him come out and get rid of some of this extra. He came streaking out of the room, and he had gotten hung up in a plastic bag, and he had it around his I think he had it around his belly, and he shot out of that room like he'd been shot out of a cannon, wearing a plastic bag. It was funny. I laughed so hard I could barely control myself. Oh, I got another spot here that doesn't have much, so let's put something on there. Now I need another hand, because all right, I got a piece. Yeah, he came out of there. He was ripping around here, terrified, because something was chasing him. It was a plastic bag. It's like, well, if you would not be so nosy, you wouldn't get into those kinds of scrapes. Yeah, he is a mess, that one. Charlie is not nearly as curious as Chance is. Chance is, my dad loved to say, when we always had cats when I was growing up, and my dad loved the cats, and he'd always say, curiosity killed one like you one time. You know how you have parents that say those things that you swear you're never going to say to anybody, and then you say it to your kids. That was one of those. All right, let me see if I can get another piece here. And let's put this here. I know when I do stuff like this, I just rattle on and chat because it's hard for me to watch the chat. So if you guys need me, give me a minute. I'll be back watching the chat here in a second. I have had bubble wrap, the big, you know, with big bubbles, you know, some of that stuff that's the really super big bubbles that I like to use on the jelly plate. And I had to put it in a box, and I had to use some really strong rubber bands to hold it closed because he was determined he was getting it out of that box. I'm not kidding. He was determined. He's such an ornery thing. Okay, let's put another piece right in here just because I'm going to break that up a little bit. He worked on that box. It had 2 big rubber bands around it. He worked on that for the longest kind of time because he was going to get that box open and he was going to get that bubble wrap. I don't know. I guess he smelled it. I don't know. Oh, he's a rotten cat sometimes. All right. I think we've got all the stuff on it, so let me show it to you. Show you what we've got so far. Okay, now it has not been dried, so you're going to see a lot of white glue here and there. Yeah, curiosity killed that cat, but satisfaction brought him back. Aunt Beck said that. Hi, Marita. Pardon me if I didn't say your name correctly. Okay, that is the whole top of the box. So here is the front side of the box. And as I said, I'll deal with the bottom later. So there's the front. And it looks really nasty and messy right now. That is to be expected. There's one side. Oh, we have a section. I need to put some more paper right there, so we'll do that in a minute. See, that's why it's good to look in a computer screen. This is the back side of the box. Okay, like so. And I could or could not put paper here. It just kind of depends. I'll probably leave that because it's on the back. And there's the other end. Okay? And all that whining you hear, that's coming from Charlie. That's Charlie doing all the complaining. Don't feel too sorry for him, okay? He's telling you how much how sorry his life is. Okay, where's the section I said we needed to put a piece on? Right here. Okay, so while we're over here, I'll just put a piece done on that little section. When you're doing this kind of stuff, your hands get gluey, your item gets gluey, the surface gets gluey. It's pretty messy stuff. Pretty messy business. Just trying to tear this down a little bit. So it is a box that the top of the box opens up with a lid, but I am purposely gluing it shut. And I'll deal with cutting the lid open later. Okay? Any questions? Hi, Patty. He is grumbling to the max. Okay, let me check the chat here. Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be really cool when it's done. Thanks, Linda. The box is a cigar box, and this one happens to be wood. Yes. So if you had questions and I missed them, put them in the chat again. Josie Webb says Chance lives up to his name. Josie, he does. He does. Oh, yes. Hi, Rhonda from Australia. Thanks for coming. Okay. Hi, Rocky. Hi, Lori Gordon. Nice to see you. Okay, so and Patricia. Hey, Patricia. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use heat gun, and we're going to dry it. I'm going to stick my glue brush back in a big old tub of water. It lives in a tub of water all the time. and then I will probably stick some water in this to try to save it. If you let the decoupage glue dry in this, it's very hard to get it out. And that's just a little cream cheese or something container that I had. So we're going to have to take some time to dry this, because if you don't, the next stage won't work. So you got to dry it. Krissa says, that's funny, Krissa. She said since she can't stop laughing with my stories, she has to admit that her English has been improved by watching me. Oh, that is too funny. That is too funny. Gemma says she loves getting glue on her hands and peeling it off. Yeah, depends on the glue. Decoupage glue sometimes is hard to peel off, I find. Yeah, we're supposed to be covered up with ice at the moment. I don't think we've got anything yet. I mean, they were predicting maybe 3/4 of an inch of ice. Whew, that's a lot of ice, people. That's a lot of ice. Now I may go back and add some more paper to the top of this, because I think maybe I've got a little too many gaps up here on the top. It's one of those things that you just kind of, you do it, you dry it, you look at it, you assess. It's okay to have some gaps where the metallic paint is showing through, but you don't want to have super lots of gaps showing. And the more glue you've added, the longer it's going to take to dry, of course. So I'm going to have to come back eventually and do the bottom. But when you're working in a three-dimensional way like this, you're going to have to pick one side that you're going to work on later, and so to me that makes sense. It would be bottom, right? Either the bottom or work on the back, stand it up and work on, you could work all of this and then you'd have to work the back later. So you just pretty much have to pick an area that you want to work on. And if you're doing this on a cardboard box, like this, or chipboard based box like this dries a lot quicker than this surface that I'm working on here, since this is mostly wood. I think parts of it are chipboard, really heavy chipboard. And yeah, since I'm going to be kind of pushing this, we may come out with something that looks great, and we may come out with something that I have to work on again later. And that's been known to happen too, hasn't it? Okay, I'm going to need to add a few more little pieces because I want to cover up a little bit of this. It's a little much, so I'm going to tear some smaller pieces of. This is just sewing pattern tissue. I like the sewing pattern tissue because it has some lines. I also like the color of it. I don't have to do anything to it to create the color. It comes naturally, this lovely tan. So let me get my glue brush out of the water. So I'm just dabbing it off here, trying to get rid of the excess water. A little more glue here. This is Collage Pauge. It's also nice sometimes when you have a bunch of these strong lines from the pattern tissue to just sort of break them up a little bit. So by putting a second layer of the pattern tissue on it, that breaks that up a little bit. And I like it to have some wrinkles in it, but it doesn't need to be, super wrinkly. Like some wrinkles, good. super wrinkly or pleats in the paper, I don't care for that too much. And let's see, let's put some more over here. So as I said earlier, in case some of you weren't here, I am avoiding the numbers and the writing from the pattern tissue. But the lines, I don't mind having the lines. Okay, so pretty much we got all that. We'll let it go at that. Maybe one more little bit here on the sides. We'll put a little bit there. Kind of cover up some of that a little bit. When you're doing this stuff, you want glue under it and over it, both. This is the kind of stuff that I can mess around with for a long time. Like, you know, I can do this for hours to get it just the way I want it to be. And I've done that because I've done this before on other boxes. You know, so you can do that as much as you want. You might put a little bit more here on the front. Right in here, there's kind of a big gap of the metallic paint showing through right there, so we might put a little bit more there and kind of break up some of these lines a little bit. Just a little bit, so you get some, you know, texture showing from the kind of through the second layer, but some of it is stronger as well. All right. We're going to call it good, no matter how much I might want to fiddle around with it. We're going to glue brush down. Had to get the glue brush off the floor. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of a baby wipe and see if I can get some of this off. That one's too dry to do anything. Okay, I apparently have an inability to hold on to my supplies at the moment. Do any of you ever have that problem where you start dropping stuff and then you just keep on dropping stuff? I'm not sure what they're talking about in the chat. I was reading, but I'm not sure what the dropsies. Yep, Dawn knows what I'm talking about. It's awful when you start dropping stuff and then you just keep, you know, it's like you'll have days where you just can't hold on to anything. It's kind of crazy. Hi, Raquel. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Okay, let's hit it with the heat gun again. See if we can get some of this dry. And then we'll see what I do next. I have to read my notes because it's been a while since I've done this. Your hands do get quite sticky doing this. So that is one thing that really helps. One reason it really helps to use some kind of a shielding lotion on your skin, which I did to begin with. You put this on your skin to begin with, then you can use that. And if you have a Ranger Craft Scrubby, which looks like a little piece of gray foam, the Craft Scrubby really helps get that glue off your skin, but the shielding lotion helps release it away from your skin. So I find that the two things really help when you're working with messy stuff. Using the shielding lotion. The only thing that I find it doesn't do much for is alcohol inks. Alcohol inks, if you don't want those to penetrate your skin, or dye, that's another one. Dye like Rit dye or color wash dye or any of those kinds of dyes, you really need to wear gloves with because they the shielding lotion does not do enough in those cases to allow it to release from your skin. It's powerful stuff. It's meant, dye is meant to penetrate, and so it will penetrate your skin. You want to be careful with your skin because the skin is the largest organ in your body, and you really want to protect it. Okay, it's not totally dry. Patty says she uses a sponge with the scrubby side. Yeah, that works too. Barb, did I go live early today? No, I didn't. I went live at 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so we've got that. So the next step in this process is I'm using Tumble Dyes. Let me go put this in water because I'm done with this. So let me go stick this in water. I'll be right back. Even though it's a disposable container, I really try to keep all that stuff as long as I can until I have to throw it away. Yeah, Patty says she walked around with teal fingers for days from the dilution sprays. Okay, here's the thing about dilution sprays that is crazy. Now, I don't know if you guys agree with me on this or not, but this is the thing that's crazy about that. Those dilution sprays are never permanent on the page, right? They're never permanent. So you can spray them and they're very intense and they'll penetrate the page, but if you put water on it or if you come back weeks later and you put water on it, they will lift off the page. Put them on your skin and they will stay there for the longest kind of time, right? That is an interesting formula. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, the dilutions are also, I do find with the dilution sprays, ink sprays, that if I have that shielding lotion on, it really does help those come off my skin too. But that's some wild pigment in those. Okay, so here's our box. It's more or less dry. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 3 colors of Tumble Dye spray. And these are fabric dyes, and so I don't use them exclusively on fabric. In fact, I kind of rarely use them on fabric. I do them mostly on other things. And I find these, you can buy these, you can order them. Sometimes if you are in the neighborhood of a Hobby Lobby, you can find them in Hobby Lobby in the fabric, it's the fabric art section, like for decorating t-shirts and stuff like that. That's where you find these. So I'm going to use mustard, yellow gold, and walnut. So these are the 3 colors I'm going to use. Hi, Miriam. Bless you and your dad. We'll be thinking of you. Definitely be thinking of you. So, excuse me. So I'm using these Tumble Dyes. I'm done with the pattern tissue for the moment. And the other things I'm going to be using are plastic canvas, also from the craft store. And I'm going to use the square stuff, and I'm going to use the round configuration. Okay, so I'm going to use this. So you buy this piece like this. Okay, I buy this like this, and then I cut this section out. So I have a ring and a circle like that. And then this is just the square. This is meant for embroidery on it. So anyone who embroiders with plastic canvas is probably not very happy at the moment watching me do this. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. Now, these bottles sometimes spray well and sometimes they don't. So I always have at my disposal empty spray bottles. I've learned to do that. And I'm going to put a piece of fabric on my table because I need to cover up my computer stuff. This is where it gets dicey, having all this computer jazz around when I'm trying to be creative. It's always a challenge. So this is a piece of drop cloth, and so I am literally, you can tell that I've used this a lot of times. I'm just covering up stuff because it really is ugly if it gets on your computer stuff. Okay, it's also bad if it gets on your glasses that are laying around. That's not good either. Okay, so let's give it a shot, shall we? Let's put this on and let's see if the mustard is going to spray. You're waiting for something magnifique? Yeah. Well, you never know about that, Krissa. So I'm shaking it. And sometimes this will spray and sometimes it won't. Let's see. Not so much. It's going in spurts. So when that happens, I just stop and just transfer it to another bottle. And after I'm done broadcasting, what I will do is I will transfer it back into its original bottle. Because if I end up with one sprayer that's clogged up, that's okay. But if I just keep making more and more sprayers clog, not good, right? Okay. So this is a new one, so this should spray. Operative word being should. All right, so there you can really see the color of it. So I'm just going to give it some spray through. What I want you to do is I want you to see it. So now you can see the pattern coming, right? And if you have something else available, you can turn this over. Like, for example, an art journal page. Because these sprays are permanent when dry, it makes for a great beginning of things. So I print them off on paper like that, and that can give you, that can start you some really cool texture and so forth on an art journal page. So we'll just keep that handy, right? All right, let's dry this and then we'll do the same thing around the sides. Hi Jillian, nice to see you. Hi Pin. So we're going to give this a little dry. And if it doesn't dry fast enough for me, I have a Kleenex available and I will sop up like this some of the excess very lightly, because I don't want to destroy the patterning that I'm now starting to build. So hopefully you can see that. I can see it on the screen, so I hope you guys can see it. And I did not spray very much, and that's why I transferred to this, where that other sprayer was spraying out. It was spraying. It wasn't totally clogged up, but it was going to spray a big, splat. And that takes a very long time to try and dry, and you don't get the patterning and so forth. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn it up, and you guys probably will not see this. Let's see if we can get a different camera here. Okay, let's see if we can make it work over here. Sorry for all the getting it in your way, but okay. Okay. So I'm going to put this on the side. I'm actually going to stand it up, which maybe you'll see it there. Okay. And I'm going to spray a little bit through the canvas. I mean, I'm really doing small, there you can really see it, small splats. Okay, small splats. So then back to the same thing, just take the canvas, turn it over, and print whatever's left in your journal. Or you could be doing this on paper, you could be doing it on whatever. But you start building, when you're doing this, you'll start, it's like a free thing, you know, you start building the base pattern for an art journal page, which is really fun. Okay, so here we have this. It's very wet, so we're gonna give it some heat. And if it doesn't dry fast enough, when you're down this close to the surface, keep the heat moving, okay? Don't take, like I am very close to the surface, see like that? Well, here, like this, I'm very close. When you're that close down to the surface, keep the gun moving. Otherwise, you're gonna cause yourself some real ugly things to happen. You can, if it's paint, you can cause the paint to bubble. You can cause your mediums to bubble and so forth. Okay, so not bad, not bad. Krista says she loves this pattern with modeling paste. Yeah, modeling paste is good stuff. Okay, so we'll go to the front. We're going to do the same thing. Okay, pay no attention to the bottom because the bottom has yet to have its paper on it. Okay, so we've got some patterning there. You know what I'm doing now by printing it off in my journal, so I'm not going to pull it up on the table to show you each time because now you know what I'm doing. So now we're going to dry it. So you can see when you work on a three-dimensional surface, it takes you a while to do this kind of stuff. If you're doing it in an art journal page, that's a whole different deal. So be sure if you have any questions or comments that you want me to see in particular, be sure you put them in all caps. That really helps me see them in the chat. If you're just chatting amongst yourselves, it's just fine to just chat in lowercase. So I'm very, very lightly touching that surface just to pick up the excess moisture. When the tumble dyes dry, that's a tongue twister. When the tumble dyes dry, they dry permanently to a permanent finish. So I'm using the same color all the way around here. Hopefully I'm not spraying my computer. Okay, so we have a little bit more. I'm going to put another little cloth over one of my keyboards here because I'm afraid I'm going to get dye on it. Okay. Digress just a little bit. Oh, that was a very bad pun. And then we're going to go to the next color, okay? So we'll be doing that here in a second. And you can do this as many times as you like. You know, if it's not getting enough color, you can do it again. Okay, we're going to do it one more time. This is on the front or the back. I think it's the front. So we're going to do that. Rhonda says she's still getting over my makeup demonstration. Yeah, I'm still getting over it too, Rhonda. Oh, sometimes it's like, I had to think about it before I did that because it's like, I may get some really bad comments from people about Hide your ugly face. Okay, let me talk to you at the same time as I'm doing this. So let's be honest. None of us roll out of bed looking like any beauty queen, do we? And the older you get, the less you look like one. Rhonda says she was laughing so much she was crying. And Judith agrees. Good, I'm really glad. It was real scary here on this end of the camera. She was very sweet. Nicole was very sweet. She was very kind. She put a lot of thought into how much she was going to torture me. Yeah, that glitter. Woo! Glitter, baby. Woo! Marion says the older she gets, the less she cares. There you go. That's right. Okay, so we now have, see if we can catch the light where you can see it. You now can see the mustard color with the little square pattern around on each side of the box, right? Except the bottom. We don't care about the bottom. All right, the next thing we're going to do, so let me come over here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use yellow gold. So it's a different color. And you know, it's probably not going to spray. I'll try it, but it's probably not going to spray from the sprayer. But we're going to take a look at it because I want it to spray. And I always spray on the thing, on my surface before I take it right to the item. Now, see what it's going to do? It's just going to do big old splats. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to immediately transfer it into another spray bottle. And then when I'm finished here today, I will transfer it back and I'll clean up these spray bottles. Because I'll clog up the new sprayers the same way. And there's no point in doing that. So I don't mind. I try to always have an excess number of sprayers on hand so that I can do exactly this, which is get what I want. Get what I want. There we go. Okay, so this is a much brighter gold, yellow gold, and I'm going to repeat the same process. All right, so here we go. Now, you wouldn't think that this makes a whole lot of difference because it may look to you like it's the same color, but it is enough different that it puts a different layer of color, a brighter color on there. Hi, Ellen. Oh, yeah, Angelbug says, see, after Nicole did my makeup, then I made her, well, kindly encouraged her to do something craft art oriented, right? So we got out the jelly plates and we messed around with that a little bit. And I'll tell you what, she is a glitter girl, boy. She is a glitter girl. I even dragged out the little bit of glitter that I have and let her use that. And I'm telling you, she is absolutely, when I tell you this, I'm not exaggerating. She is 100% honest when she does that. Glitter. She's honest about that. That is nothing. She is not putting that on. That is her honest reaction. She loves glitter. Okay, and when somebody says the word glitter to me, I go, no. Okay, yeah. And that's an honest reaction from me. I don't care for it. I don't mind it if it's suspended in a medium or suspended in paint. I'm okay with that. But that loose stuff, yeah. I tried not to have a heart attack when she was going to put it on my eyelids and stuff. I did pretty well. I didn't have to take any Prozac or anything. Here we go. Okay. Now, I don't know whether you can see the difference in the color, but there is a distinct difference between, like, this is the bright color, And this down in here is the mustard. So yellow gold and mustard. They are different. The yellow gold has a much brighter appearance. Okay, so we're going to repeat the same thing. So this is the same piece of plastic canvas I'm using. Of course, this sprayer is going to be ornery now. You can probably see this a little better in the art journal page. See this really bright color? That's the yellow gold. So this is the mustard color and that's the yellow gold. So that's why the difference in color really is significant. Hi, Joyce. Is Race talking? I missed him. Is he in here talking smack? Talking smack about me? All right, this is where it was a little splattery, so I'm going to take some of that off right now. And we're going to, hi, Kate. Hi, Signa. Yeah, I can't imagine very many times in my life that I've ever really used glitter. I try to like it. It just doesn't work for me. Nicole loves it. I think Race finds glitter all over. That's my guess. That's my guess. Okay, I'm not going to, let's see, what time is it? 2:24. I guess we should do this all the way around so you can see the whole process, right? If anybody's in a hurry to see the end of this process, you're going to have to just wait for the recording and watch it then. Yes. Okay, same thing. Plastic canvas, spraying with the yellow gold at the top or through it. Printing it off in the art journal. All right, I've got a little too much here. I'm going to take some of that away. I'm just using a Kleenex because the Kleenex doesn't imprint the design from, like a paper towel will imprint the design. Kleenex will not do that. Facial tissue or whatever you want to call it. Okay, here we go. We're going to Good to see you here, Joyce. I know Joyce Rigby is Moonrose. Okay, a little bit more dabbing. Hi, Katie O'Party. Hi, Sarah. 3 dogs and 2 kids. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in an age. How are you? Hope you're doing well. All right, we have one more side. That's the back part. We're going to do that. The bottom will be done later. No worries about the bottom. I won't leave it out. The sprayer is not cooperating. So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to print right on the box because my sprayer on this is being ornery. I tell you, sprayers are, I love the way that spray things work, but boy, they're annoying. Hey, CB. So what I'm after with this is, and you can't see it, the light is really reflecting, I'm getting some of the pattern from that plastic canvas and building the layers of color. So we started with mustard with the dyes. These are tumble dyes, which are permanent once they're dry. So we did that. And then we came back over it with yellow gold. Yellow gold? Yes, yellow gold. So it's two different colors of gold we've got going on here. And I'm dabbing up any real excess moisture with a Kleenex or a tissue. All right, so we're going to go back over here. So you now can see as it's dried, you can see the colors have been changing, hopefully, as they're drying. So the process, and this was a cigar box. This one happens to be wooden, or pretty much wooden. It may have some heavy chipboard as well. I am doing it with the lid. It does have a flip lid. I'm doing it closed. I'll come back with an X-Acto knife and I'll cut the lid open later. It's easier to do this for me than it is to try to manage that lid. So what we did is I covered the whole thing to start with white gesso, let it completely dry, like I let it dry overnight. I came back with a coat of gray gesso. You could use gray craft paint if you wanted. I had the gray gesso. I'm trying to use it up. Then I came back over it once that was dry with Dazzling Metallics Worn Penny, okay, metallic paint. So I used that. That's what you see here. Then I came back over it with, this is dressmaking pattern tissue, okay, dressmaking pattern tissue, and collaged pieces down. So that's what you see on here. Then I've used two colors of Tumble Dye sprays. These are the Tumble Dyes. They look like this. These are actually fabric dyes. They are permanent when they're dry, which I love. So that's what I've used next, these two so far, and plastic canvas. All right, so now that catches you up to where we are. So what we're doing now is we're going to go to the Walnut Tumble Dye. That's what's happening next. Oh, YouTube told you off? Oh, no. Oh, no, Joyce, you said too much. Give it a second. You'll be all right. Okay, so now I'm going to use a piece of round plastic canvas, and we'll see whether the walnut's going to spray for us or not. If not, I will put it in another bottle for the moment. Nope, I'm going to put it in a different bottle. I don't want these splots. I want it to have more of a spray. So I just keep, as I said, empty plastic bottles, transfer it temporarily, and later I will put it back in the original bottle and I will clean out all these sprayers. I try to keep the sprayers so that they will work for me. Sometimes they get cantankerous and ornery and all that, but you know, usually they work. Okay, so let's see if this one works better. Okay, better enough. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to print on here. So what we're starting to get by doing this is what we're patterning from. This is the original metal box that I used to kind of work on getting this effect. So what I'm working on getting here is this pitted dark look. Okay, that's what I'm working on. It's not going to be exactly that, but it's going to be a reasonable facsimile, okay? So I just kind of work around it using the plastic to print, and that's kind of nice. That was an accident. But that worked out kind of well. And it's just to get that pitted look here and there. Okay, you get the idea? So I'm not trying to cover every single square bit of it, you know, like every little square inch or whatever. But I do want to get it over most of it, okay? Hi, Cherry. Okay, so back to the drawing. Signa says today she found gloves in a bottle in Norway, and she bought it. Cost $20 for 240 milliliters, which was very expensive. She says, but as I have seen Barb using it, just got to buy it. You saw me use it, you had to have it, huh? Signa, that's pretty funny. I think you'll like it. I hope you do. Anyway, I like it. I like it. It doesn't take very much on your skin. For me, it really helps to release that stuff off my skin. I mean, if I forget it, I will use the Ranger Craft Scrubby, which I find to be more gentle for my skin, for my hands and stuff, than a regular sponge, like a scrubby sponge. I find the Ranger Craft Scrubby to be more gentle. And usually I can get most things off with that, but it comes off so much easier. Literally, it comes off so much easier with the gloves in the bottle. In my opinion, in my experience. Gloves in the bottle is certainly not the only shielding lotion. But I bought it originally in a quilting store where they had fabric. And they talked about how you could use it on your skin, and then you could work directly with fabric, so you don't, you didn't have any of that greasy feel. I really am, let's be honest, there's a few things in my life that I'm pretty funny about. Glitter would be one. But things that feel chalky on my hands, some of those shielding lotions are really chalky feeling. I really hate that. So putting gloves in a bottle on my hands, it doesn't have any of that feeling. To me, it's worth the extra money. So that's me. I flung a Craven on her, an old Jerry Clower line. I like Jerry Clower. He was one of my favorite old-time comedians. Yeah, do you remember this one, Alice? Shoot up in here among us. One of us has got to have a break or relief. One of us has got to have relief. Do you remember that one? Okay, here we go. Let me get out of the picture. Actually, we'll go over here. See, I think you can see it better. So that's what we have so far. It's got that old metal pitted look about it. This is what we're working on. You can see the metal shining through. That's why the metallic paint to start with. And this is what we've got so far. Alice says, "Yep, sure do." Debbie, hush. The ugly woman is quiet. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. She's quiet at the moment. Don't talk to her. Don't talk about her. You gotta stop with that ugly woman. Leave her alone. If she's being quiet, we gotta leave her alone. Goodness, Debbie and that ugly woman. I tell you. Okay, so here's what we have on the front, or one side. This is the front, this is the back, actually. So let's go for it. Dry her down. Debbie says she heard the ugly woman sneeze. Take her out of that box. She can't breathe. She's not in a box. She's up on a shelf, Debbie. She's on a shelf. She has plenty of fresh air. She's in a climate-controlled studio. The ugly woman is not suffering. Hi, Lindy. The ugly woman is not suffering in any form or fashion. No, she is not. And if she tries to tell you otherwise, she is lying through the teeth that she doesn't have. She's lying through her gums. Every so often I get a comment on YouTube that says, "What is the ugly woman?" It's like, ask Debbie Boring. She's going to have to explain it, because I have no explanation for the ugly woman. She's just too ugly for words. Okay, so you see the difference from here, from this to this, right? Okay, so we're going on the end here, which I know you can't see. Let me back out a little bit. Whoops, wrong way. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to come up here and we're going to give it a little, whoops, I hit me in the floor. Spraying works much better if you commit to the spraying, which means you give it a full pump with the sprayer, which I didn't, so I just sprayed all over the floor. So, give me one moment, because I need to now clean up my floor before this dries. Okay, back to the drawing. Gonna have to make a heist. Debbie says she's gonna make a heist to my house to save the ugly woman. I'm just gonna send her to you, Debbie. I'm just gonna send her to you. You don't even have to come get her. I'll just send her to you. Poor old ugly thing. If I do that, though, if I send her to you, then I have nothing to talk about. And you guys don't have anything to razz me about other than glitter. And since I was such a good sport about the glitter eyeshadow, you really can't tease me about that too much, right? Yeah, I did redecorate the floor just then. Glad it's not carpet. Carpet and fabric dye would not go well together. There would be no hope for getting that out. Race is gone, Mildred. Race is gone. He went back home, and I didn't cry too much. I did some, but not too much. I'm a real sap when it comes to all that. All right, I'm not gonna do this where you guys can see it, because I'd rather that I didn't go hit the floor again. You got the idea of what I'm doing, so you can see it here in a second. But there's something about using this plastic canvas that just, I don't know exactly how it works, but it really does a nice job with this pitting thing that I'm trying to accomplish. It's like, go figure. I don't know why it works, but it does. Helen wants to know if they're trying to scare me off. Hi, Sharon. Yeah, Nikki did not know what to say about the ugly woman. She didn't know if... She didn't want to offend Claus Man, you know what I mean? Carpet and glitter. Ew. I told you guys. Let me talk to you face to face, shall I? Years ago, I was a Weight Watcher leader, and we had a district manager, and she would send communications to us about, I think it was like once a month, she sent communications to us. And the first time she got me the very first time, she put that glitter and confetti inside that envelope. So when you open it, all this crap went everywhere. And I'm like, you have got to be joking. I told her at one point, I said, I cannot believe you did that. Like at the next time we had a meeting together, and she said, I know, wasn't it great? She was just as happy as she could be. And I said, I will never open another letter from you unless I'm opening it over the trash. And she just cackled. She had no idea that that could possibly be something somebody didn't like. It was completely foreign to her. Ugh. Yeah. APG Jamie, if any of you know APG Jamie, I'm going to do the same thing on this end. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm doing the same thing. APG Jamie, who does YouTube videos, she sent me one of her cards. She has a thing she calls the card lottery. So she sends cards to people periodically. And she draws names and sends greeting cards, and she does great cards and great YouTube videos. She's so funny. Jamie is so funny. Anyway, she sent me in my card, she sent me a baggie that had glitter in it. Debbie, that is shame on you. That's terrible. She says she does that every year in her Christmas party invitations. It's a good thing I live too far away to get an invitation, isn't it? Yeah, still trying to get out get out all the glitter with the vacuum. Debbie says occasionally she finds it in the couch and in the guest bed. I got stories about things like that, but I won't go there. It's not for polite conversation. Yeah. Okay, so we're about done with this. I missed a little bit. So we now have built this kind of pitted look on the sides, the front, the back, and the top. The bottom, nothing. So you can see this is where we started, right? This is just metallic paint, so it has nothing done to it. So we've gone from basically from this to this. You guys like it? No, Debbie, I can't tell. Yeah, the newbies are the ones that open it over the floor. Exactly. Hi, Barbara. Yeah. Barbara says, I'm with you. I hate the people. Hate it when people put loose stuff in letters. Okay, so this is pretty dry. Not totally, not 100%, but you know, more or less it's dry. And of course you get your hands nice and sparkly and pitted as well. And here is the journal page as I've been printing on the journal page. As I've been printing off with the plastic canvas. So you can see what an incredible start you can get to a journal page. And because these dies are permanent, they're not going to move around on you when you put other things on top of them. Yes, Annette, we're in polite company. You guys are terrible. The whole lot of you, you're terrible. I'm not telling that story. You cannot make me. Okay, here we go. So back over here, we're done with the spraying, so I can move all the spray stuff off of my table. So this is where we are now. And the last step in this process is you need to dry this really well. Okay, so this needs to be dried super well. I don't know how well it's dried, but it's dried more or less. Look at this. Can you see this? Look at that. Glitter on my palette. Yeah. Guess what's going to happen to that? Look, now it's all over my desk. Seriously. Seriously, it's all over my desk because it was on my palette. See, it's all over my roller. I already showed this. I showed this earlier. It's all over my, thank goodness for these kinds of things. Sorry, Yeah, look at this. That's after cleaning up. I bet you guys, all of you that were here watching that, I bet you were all shocked that I even had glitter. Look, I'm still getting glitter. That was brand new. Yep. Oh my goodness, you guys. Me and glitter. I know. Put on my hazmat suit is right. Alice gets me. Alice understands. Okay, this happens to be cobalt teal from Golden. This is old. You can't get this anymore, but there are other colors that are available. I would suggest that you use a color that is transparent. Okay, so cobalt teal is what I'm using. And then I'm going to use water. So I have water, illegal fluids. And I'm going to make a wash out of this. So this is cruddy, this is dirty paint water. All right, so I'm going to make a wash with this. And then I'm going to try it someplace, like on the back of it, to see what it's going to look like. Because what this is going to do is put the patina look on it that you get with these old metals. You could use different colors as well. That you kind of see that? I know it's a little blurry because of it's up too close to the camera. However, that's the way it is. Allie says her grandma fell down the stairs. Oh, will do, Allie. Sending you much love and prayers to Grandma. It sure does happen. Okay, so do you see now the patina look? Yeah, Roxine Kendall. Roxine Kendall needs to, we're going to have to ban her from the chat. She knows me too well. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to ban her from the chat. It's a good thing Clausman's monitoring the chat. That's right. Okay, can you, now as this is drying down, can you see the how the turquoise, once it dries, when it first starts out, it's so much. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? Just ruining the whole thing. But when it dries down and because it is so watered down, you're not getting that plasticky look like you do when you use this paint straight from the bottle. You have it's a very shiny plastic sort of look. When it's down in a wash form like this, you do not have that. When it dries down, you still maintain that flat appearance, like so. Okay, so you see how it maintains that flat appearance. You don't have that shiny look to it. But in the light, you're going to still see some of the metallic shining through. So you get some of that. Joyce, hush. All right, we're going to come back over here. Joyce, hush. That really is a story that can't be told on stream. Okay, we're going to go to the top. It takes very, very little paint to do this, by the way. So if you happen to have any of the cobalt teal left in your stash, just a few drops of paint will do an entire box this size. Rocky, your memory is too good. Your memory is too good. I used to tell those kinds of stories when I was streaming really late at night and painting Santa Clauses. Most of those streams could never be released for public consumption either. Yeah, because I'd get my mouth open and start telling stories about things, and it's like, oh no, well, that one can't be released for anybody to see. Thanks, Dawn and Patricia. But you need to get, as metal ages and is weathered, and it doesn't even have to be weathered outside. It can just be inside your home. It will still age and get these really beautiful patinas on them. And the box that I'm working from to begin with actually has some of the, sorry, it's got stuff in it, stuff inside the box, but you can see the turquoise down here. This is part of the actual design that they used on it. But if you really look at the box, you'll see some of that turquoise here and there, right? You can see some of that in it. What else could you use? You could use any turquoise paint or green. You could use a green paint. I would just try out different things. Golden has another teal color that replaced the cobalt teal. You could use, I'm sure you could use that. You could even use a heavy body acrylic paint, just thin it way down. It would take very little, so thin it way down. You could use any of your turquoise or green paints with glazing medium to thin them down. You don't have to use water. So, just experiment. It's one of those things where you just play with things until you, that's how I come up with anything I come up with. I just play with it till I get what I'm looking for. Like if this is not enough, I can come back over this with another coat of the turquoise or the cobalt teal, or I could come back over it with a green. Like green gold, that's another golden product. You could come back over it with the green gold. Look, I got the bloody glitter stuck in my box. Who wants that? Honestly, that glitter is the bane of my existence. Yes, it is. Okay, so we got the back and the top. All right, so we're going to go for another. Now see, that's way too much, so you got to get the water going. You don't want that much. You got to use the water to thin it way out. And understand that it is going to dry down, but you don't want to leave big areas, big puddles of it. If you leave big puddles of it and let the puddles dry, it is going to stay pretty turquoisey. I know, no such word, but they don't exist, Rocky. Good luck. They don't exist. No, they don't exist. They were never released. I probably deleted most of those. A lot of times I was streaming on Ustream and I wouldn't even, if I was doing late at night, because I couldn't trust my mouth, because I couldn't read the chat, so I would just chatter. I would just talk, and that can get you in real trouble. You can start telling stuff that you don't even need to tell. Okay, let's go back over here where you got a shot at being able to see what I'm doing. Okay, there it is. Never have enough room to do this stuff, I'm telling you. All right, so here is the end of the box. Okay, so this is the end of the box. So back to the turquoise, thin it way down, put it on. like so. And again, don't let it puddle too much because you won't like, at least I don't like the puddles. I like some of the bits, you know, some of it hanging around, like catching on the wrinkles of the tissue and stuff, but I don't want it in great big puddly things. Well, I think I'm going to make a book to go inside this box. I'm thinking that we might do that next week. See, we might come up with a book that would fit inside this box. See, here's the thing about when I'm creating things. I often create things just for the sake of creating them, and I don't have to have a reason. You know what I mean? Probably for finding cigar boxes, I don't know if they have them at craft stores. I would go to tobacco shops and ask them, which there are several around here in our area. Or find somebody, you know, there's still plenty of guys around. I think most of them are guys. I couldn't really tell you. That smoke, and I would talk to them and see if they can save you cigar boxes. But I think like the tobacco shops and stuff will save them. You may have to pay for them, and you might look at craft stores. They might have some, I mean, it doesn't have to be a cigar box, you know. It can be just a regular box, like the one I showed you a little bit ago when we started this. This is just a cardboard box, okay? This is the box that has my art prompt cards in it that I did. This is just a plain cardboard box, and I did the same treatment on it. Yeah, same treatment. See, here you can see some of the words from the pattern tissue. There's one of the numbers from the pattern tissue right there. I'm doing this one-handed. Okay, so you don't have to use a cigar box at all. You can use any kind of box. Could be wooden, could be chipboard, it could be anything. This didn't really have quite as much turquoise on it as I'd like. And if you want to build up the colors, you know, these patina colors, then do them slowly. Oh, good. I'm glad Rocky likes it. Here she is torturing me in the chat, and then she comes back. She's trying to get my good graces, telling me she likes it. I have too much history with Rocky, with Miss Roxine Kindle. Way too much history. When you're doing stuff like this, you think, oh, there's no way this is going to work. You know, there's no way this is going to work until you get like to this final stage, and then you go, that is so cool. At least that's what I do. The first time I did it, I have to tell you, the truth of this process was the very first time I did it, I was just playing around, and I just created this little box. It was actually a box to hold a book that I was sending to my son for his birthday, and I wanted some fun little container. I got it all done, and I was sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, I really like this. And I kept thinking, it's so familiar. Why is the color and everything so familiar? Hey, APG Jamie, we're talking about you. We were talking about you. You heard me talking, didn't you? Don't remember now what I was talking about. The card lottery. Oh, the card lottery, and you sending me glitter in a baggie. That's what I was talking about. Anyway, so I was doing this box to start with, the very first time I ever did it. Okay, and see, I have some of this precious turquoise teal left. I'll use that in a minute. So I got it all done, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, why does this thing seem so familiar? And I started looking around my house, and that's when I found this. This is in our bedroom. It's been in our bedroom for years and years and years. And I dust it every time I dust the bedroom, which, let's be honest, is not all that often. But I digress. Anyway, this was in there in the bedroom. And I was like, that's it. You know, that's the same treatment. Although this has decorative stuff on it, you know, like butterflies and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a reasonable facsimile of the two things. So then I had to go back and recreate it so that I could do it again, you know? So yeah, that's how it actually came to be. Okay, so there is the treatment of the box to turn it into kind of an aged metal kind of box. So I have to do the bottom. So I will do that, but I'm going to let this completely dry. Before I cut this open, I will spray this with a spray finish, and I usually use Krylon 1311 matte finish. So I will spray this with several coats of that outside, never in your house, outside. I'll let it totally cure. Then I'll cut this open, and I will finish the bottom of it, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do with the inside. So you're going to have to come back next week to see what happens next, because I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next. Yeah. Jamie says, yes, it was made special. The glitter thing was made special just for me. That's right. Because Jamie loves me. Because Jamie loves, APG Jamie loves me. She's not like the rest of you guys that torture me. Torture me with glitter and ugly women and things. Okay, so I'm going to pick up this paint because I don't want to lose it. And I'm just going to scrape it around on this page. Again, because first of all, I like the colors together, and second of all, because I don't want to lose the paint. There's very little of that paint left in my life, and I'm going to use it. So this is from all the spraying stuff that we did. That's what that is, and that's the leftover turquoise teal. All right. Yeah, you'll have to come back, see what we do with it next. So this is the front side of the box right here. You can see the lip. So this is the front. This is where I'll have to cut it and cut it to get it open. It's got glitter in it. Yes, it does. Nikki Beauty Bliss is still getting me with her glitter. And so come back next week and we'll see what happens next, because I don't know. I truly do not know what's going to happen next. So you guys like that? You like that finish? To be very honest about it, I didn't know what I was going to do today until not very long ago. I'm glad you like it. Glitter, yeah. Yes, there's suspense in the stream. Yes, you have to come back next week to see what happens next. Or not. Good night, Muriel. Sleep well. Yes, I don't know. I'm thinking it would be nice to put a book inside the box. Years ago, when my youngest granddaughter, most of you have heard me speak of her many times, when she graduated from high school, it was a deeper cigar box, and I made a book that fit inside that cigar box, and I took pictures of her from preschool, like every year of preschool, and then every year all of her school pictures in school, and made pages in this. It was probably as close as I've ever gotten to a scrapbook, and put it in this box, or in the book, and that was in the box, and that was a really cool gift. She really liked that. So Pavla says, it really looks familiar. She was crafting along with me when I did the first box. So she has a very similar journal page. See? It still works. Pavla does incredible art journal pages, let me tell you. She is probably the most meticulous is not the right word. I don't know exactly what the word is for her journal pages, but she's in the chat, Pavla, and she has her journal pages are, each journal page is a work of art in her journals, and I've seen many of them. My journal pages are, I'll show you some of them. My journal pages are never works of art. My journal pages are ways to process things. Okay, for example, I'll flip through this journal page, or this journal. Now, you're not going to be able to see it all, but you'll see most of it as I move the pages around. Trying to make room here. So I'm always trying to process stuff, and so that's what I do. My art journals are for that. So they always include lots of words. I often have little, messages to myself that are not necessarily completely obvious to the world. But I am processing things or experimenting with a product or that sort of thing, or I hear something on TV like this. I heard this on a television show, Stay in Peace, Not Pieces. And I went, oh, I have to do that on an art journal page. So I used puzzle pieces that I altered and that kind of stuff, and just put together a whole thing. And then put this: peace is the only virtue you cannot create. It must flow from a heart of love and joy. So this is my way of art journaling, which brings me to another point, that there are no rules in art journaling. But it is amazing to me, looking at Pavla's art journals, how each individual page is a work of art in its own right. Mine is a process thing. Yeah. Pavlart, PAVLART.blogspot.com. You can find her there. Aunt Beck got a red cart like me for Christmas. Cool. Harbor Freight. Yep, Harbor Freight. That's where it came from. So often there's things that, I can remember this page. I can remember this because it's etched in my brain from having created this. It is not a work of art. It is simply something that I was processing, and that is what all of my pages are. Or it's a record, or I've used up paint. This was a point in time where I said I really try to like tea as much as I like coffee. The truth is I just don't. That's when I was trying to get myself going from one to the other. So I made a page about it. This, I don't even know what it was about. There's journaling on here. If I really tried, I could read it. So, but it's all, for me, it's always about the process of something, mostly there's a lot of things that I'll find a quote that I really like. And so I will, use that quote in what I want to do. This was about my granddaughter. Christy is her name. And I said, "You are an extraordinary woman. How can you expect anything ordinary to happen to you? You are an extraordinary. You are an extraordinary woman. How can you expect anything ordinary to happen to you?" That was a Louisa May Alcott quote. And so I did this. I took a picture of it and then printed it out and gave it to her. So it's just, everybody does what they do for different reasons. This was cutting out letters, cutting out letters and using them on this page. This was leftover stuff. Is it being abandoned or is it being set free? Again, processing stuff. Freedom means I choose forgiveness. Yep. Freedom means I choose forgiveness. I'm sure you can tell I was working on something there. This was another thing I did for a grandchild, and it says, "I dare you to rise up, jump higher, see what you can build, reach for the stars and get one, leap tall buildings with a single bound. After all, you are a Superman." So I did that, and then I sent it, took a picture of it, printed it out, and gave it to him. This was all about words. So this is all, I did a lot of writing on paper or cardstock. It was probably cardstock. I did a ton of journaling on it. Then I cut it into little bitty strips and glued them on the page. And then stamped over the top of it, Power of Words. Because it was all, you know, the power of something that had gone on. I don't even know what now. I have no idea. This is back to the finish that I was experimenting with, the finish that I just showed you. This was a card I received from someone, and it looked good on there, so I just glued it on. This was a page that everything on here was leftover. Everything was just leftover stuff. And I journaled on top of it about something that someone did for me that was amazing, and I was going to come back and do more. And then I thought, no, I like it exactly the way it is. So it's journaling with gel pen. This is more of the experimenting with the technique I just showed you. Let's see, is that it? Yeah. And then this is using paper napkins and doing some writing. Let's see. This I found in a magazine or something, and it says, finding her center after a stressful day isn't as difficult now that Barb finally feels at home, surrounded by everything she loves. And it was just exactly perfect. This is a quilt that I made. It's kind of lost some of its stuff that's stuck to the opposing page. This is a quilt that I made, and this is a quilt about me and the stuff I love to do. It's, you know, it's kind of it has a whole quote that goes around in the circles, but this has a lot of texture and all kinds of stuff. But this was all about this piece that I found in a magazine or wherever I found it. And I cut it out because it had my name in it. And it's like, that is exactly how I feel. So I cut it out. I made an art journal page. Seemed like this worked well to make a copy of that quilt, and I stuck it in there. This one was all about butterflies. Butterflies are self-propelled flowers. It has a lot of texture and stuff in it. And napkins and stencils and I don't know what all. Butterflies are very significant in my life, so I did a page about it. Books are also very significant in my life, and so this is all about books and windows. So you see windows where the books are. A house without books is like a room without windows. So that was that one. These are aspen leaves. They're only partially glued down, which makes no sense in an art journal page because the art journal, is flat, closed, so it won't maintain its texture. These are actual aspen leaves that a friend brought to me. So they are in here. And then I made the rest of them. And there are trees in the background. These are actually birch trees from a stencil that I made look like aspen trees look to me. And it says, if you know strength and patience, welcome to the company of trees. And that was a Hal Borland quote. So that's one of the few 2-page spreads that I did. But that I just am showing you the concept of the way that I journal. It's much more about either product driven, figuring out how a product works, or figuring out what I want to do with, brain drain kind of stuff. Often this has writing all under the bottom. The bottom layer is writing. This was one of my favorite pages I ever did. It says the first law of holes. When you're in one, stop digging. Yeah. And this has got paint. These are paint blobs that dried on my palette. I peeled them off. And leftover crap from when I was die cutting things. This is just a whole bunch of garbage that I just stuck on the page. It's literally whenever I have something I don't know what to do with, I stick it on this page. There's no point to this whatsoever. This was an image transfer, part of an image transfer. This is Charlie. And so I just used it and put it on here. And this says Wonder. And so he's got butterflies sticking on him. This is a lot of texture paste on this. and the silhouette. I really like silhouettes. And so this was, again, a bunch of writing about, whatever was going on. Greet each day with grateful hands and an open heart. Again, both of these pages, a lot of texture paste and Inca Gold metallic stuff. I don't know what this is. It has a quote on it, but that's pretty much a hot mess. This is a pocket that I usually have something in. Again, another hot mess. I was working on a technique. Find a way, allow a way. I don't know. And I've gone through some periods in my life where my heart was very, very broken. And so, this is indicative of some of the stuff I was working through at that point in time. We all have done that. Again, more junk. This is when I was a little girl, little bitty girl. Some of my dad's pictures. Most of these are my pictures from my dad. You are the beholder of great beauty. Let it fill your senses and permeate your being. So, nothing spectacular, but I liked it. This is all stuff that I found in some of my dad's things. It's whatever you call, I forgot the name of the stuff. Somebody will put it in the chat. The wheel and the squeezy thing. He labeled everything. And so I ripped off the things from boxes that I was getting rid of the boxes, and I stuck them in my journal. And this is my nephew, and I have no idea why, but he was sitting with a hat on his head, glasses on, sunglasses, and his feet were in 2 big plastic jugs. I have no idea. That was just the weirdness of that kid. What is the best glue to use for the paper not to wrinkle when you glue together? Oh, well, Dymo Label Makers. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. This is Dymo Label Maker. That's what this is. I always forget that. It's a real toss-up as to what kind of glue you use. Different people have different opinions. I use matte medium. If it's thin paper, I'll use matte medium, like a golden matte medium or a Liquitex matte medium. If it's thicker, then I use gel medium, which is a thicker consistency. If it's really thick, I use tacky glue. So you just have to play with it and see which works for you. And it also depends on what your journal substrate is. This is a mixed media paper, so it's got some heft to it to begin with. So my thing is I just experiment with things and try things and go, I didn't like that. Sometimes I'll glue 2 pages together so I don't have to look at it again. These are just labels from things that I liked, so I just stuck them on here. This is washi tape that I made. This was a stream that I did a long time ago where we wove paper together. And then this actually needs some work on it, but, probably will never get work. And it says, my life is a patchwork of experiences and is beautiful. So this is all woven paper in here. We might do that again someday. Again, hot mess, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what that is. Just playing around with something. So see, sometimes I have pages that I really like, and sometimes I have pages like this, which are like, hot mess. This was a letter that I wrote at Thanksgiving one time, all about the things I was thankful for. So I made a spot to put it and put a door. Gratitude is the doorway to abundance. And nothing that's finished. This is sort of finished. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And I said, I believe. So, just kind of stuff. This is my son when he was modeling. And that was one of the outfits that he had to wear when he was modeling. And, then there's a lot of stuff like this where it's just stuff. And this is a random picture of my dad. Just stuff. Nothing going on. Again, pardon me, nothing going on, leftover stuff. This was when I was in high school and I was nominated for a queen thing. And so I wrote all of this. This was a dress that I made. The black flowers I added. I drew that on with a pen. It was a blue dress that I made or my mom made. I can't remember. I think my mom might have made that. Anyway, this was all about that. Again, just more junk. More stuff. This is my dad's handwriting. So I saved it, stuck it in here. More butterflies, more pictures my dad took that I've altered. This was playing with a fold out, creating paper dolls. This was an image that I painted using a photograph that I had and doing this with an eyedropper and ink. So that was that. More paper dolls. So you can see there is, and this is my son's handwriting. This was from a Sunday school project when he was a little tiny boy. All this stuff was glued around a can. And I could not bear to throw that away. So, and it was all coming apart. And he spelled heaven, Heaven. You know, it's those kinds of things that, you know, it has no rhyme or reason on this page, but it was a place to stick it. And this was from a stream that I did a long time ago. And this was a page about my dad. When my dad this was his 102nd birthday. He had long since passed away, but it was just like I wanted to honor my dad. So I did a page about his birthday. And then this one was, you know, why did I do this page at the end? I have no idea. No more limbo. It's time to move forward, you know? That's just the way I did it. And that's the end of that book. Will I ever go back and finish any of that stuff? I have no idea. But my processing, or my art journals for me are processing. They're process journals. So I'm always working out something, whether it's in my head or working out things for classes or working on products to see how they, you know, how do they develop? How do they work? What can you subject them to? Are they water soluble? Are they not? Are they permanent? You know, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I know he's not happy. He's being a pain in the, you know what? That's Chance. And he's decided he has reached his limit. So we'll let him out, shall we? All right, let me get the kitty cam ready. Gotta get the kitty cam ready. Oh, before I go, let me tell you, anybody that's still here, I've talked long enough. By the time I get to the end of the 2.5 hours or so that I stream, my voice is just shot. If any of you are still here that are VIP members on the website, the live class is tomorrow. I did send out an email with all the instructions. So if you're a VIP member and you're here, there's a class tomorrow. Okay? All right. I got the kitty cam ready, so let's let the monsters out. Brace yourself, people. They're about to get out. Hello. What have you been doing in here? You made a mess in there. Yes, you did. You did. You made a mess in there. He loves plastic bags. All right, come here. Come here. Oh, my goodness. Well, where are you going? Where are you going? Okay. Apparently, it's just going to be all Charlie today. Is it going to be all about you? Chance is just going to complain. Yeah, he just wants to complain. He just wants to be on the floor and complain about everything. Yeah, he just wants to fuss. Okay, kitty cam time. This is Charlie. Let's see if we can clean your face up. They get the cruddiest looking eyes. Yes, let's clean you up. Give you a spit bath. All right, so there's Charlie boy. Yes. This is Charlie. He's hogging the whole spotlight today. Are you coming up? Well, quit talking about it and get up here. Ugh. Quit talking about it and come up here. Come on. Go lay down if you want to. Are you going to say hi? He's got glitter on his feet. Chance has glitter on his feet. Yes, he does. Come here. Lay down. Have you ever heard the term, it's just like wrestling cats? This is what they mean. This is what they mean. This is what they mean. We are wrestling cats. All right. Chance is not going to cooperate. Don't show your hindquarters to the world, okay? I'm telling you. Joyce Rigby sent me the funniest, I can't remember if it was a still picture or a video, and it was about cat jewelry for their rear ends, so they didn't show their parts to the world. Anyway, okay. Whew. It's work, people. It's work wrestling these things. Okay, so I will see those of you that are VIP members at HowToGetCreative.com. I will see you tomorrow if you're able to be there. If not, I will see the rest of you. Look at this. Yeah, how pitiful is that? I will see the rest of you whenever I see you. Whether it will be next week. Chances now, if you hear a rustling in the background, he's gone and got the bubble wrap. So he's dragging this big piece of bubble wrap out. So he'll start popping it any minute. The VIP email has already gone out, Dorothy, so you should have it. If you don't have it, let me know, and I will send it again. The test email from the test person I have said that they received it, so you should have gotten it already. Okay? All right. Yes, I've got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to go. So thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed doing this little box project. It's hard to imagine that it would come out like this, but it's pretty fun. And I will see you guys next week, if not before. So you guys have a great weekend. Remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.